Alright, so about a week ago I put out a video titled How to Convince Your Parents to Let You Have a Snake, and someone wrote back and said, hey, I used your tactics in that video. Not only did I convince my parents to let me have a snake, I convinced them to let me start a whole snake breeding operation. They started telling me some of the details. They're getting 2 racks for adult ball pythons, 2 racks for hatchlings, and 2 racks for rodents. And that is essentially what I have here in my reptile room. That's a pretty big operation. You could produce quite a few snakes with that kind of a setup. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to kind of go through the logistics of setting up an operation like that, some of the things, maybe some tips and tricks that I wish I would have known at the beginning as far as, you know, what to buy, what to look out for, and maybe some of the newer stuff that I've learned along the way that I haven't really covered in some of these videos. Alright, so I'll start out with a quick tour of my reptile room here. I have my ARS 5040 rack here, stacked on a couple of boa tubs on the bottom. I have my hatchling rack over here. This is an ARS 1039. It has 39 tubs, and I actually have an ARS 1065 tucked in the corner that's not being used at the moment. I have my ARS 7030. It's a 70 series tub stacked on top of a boa tub, and underneath I have an ARS 8018 tubs over here. And then I have all my rats over here, lots of rows of rats. And there's my 1065 rack stuck in the corner over here. So I'd say probably one of the biggest kind of regrets that I have is getting this 5040 rack. And essentially, it's, I guess, hindsight is 2020. I kind of wish this was actually a 7030 rack, because essentially the ball pythons will outgrow these. If you take a look at Bobby here, Bobby is really cramped in this tub. It's essentially, I would say it's probably too small for the snake. And the problem is I don't have enough ARS 5040 tubs over here on the top or 8018s on the bottom to accommodate my grow outs once they go from here over to there. So if I was to do it again, what I would do is I would have 7030 tubs, these tubs on the top that are quite a bit bigger. Now I'd have fewer tubs, which means I'd have fewer snakes, but I wouldn't have to worry about running out of space in the tubs when the snakes got to a certain size. And I would say most of the time, like your albino pied male over here, this snake, most people feed their males quite a bit less and keep them pretty small. So I would say this would probably work decent for, holding a bunch of males that aren't really big. Of course, Bobby is a male, so you can see the potential of a male is pretty much the same as the potential of a female. I don't think there's really any difference. And then a lot of my grow outs up here, like this calico bamboo that I have here, you can see it's getting pretty close to where this is pretty much the perfect size tub for that snake. But that snake is definitely, all these snakes are definitely going to outgrow these. And you're talking, like 5 or 10 years down the road, all of these snakes are going to need to move out of this rack, and I'm going to have to kind of rethink my whole operation. I actually had one female breed in this tub. This was a clown female. She actually laid eggs for the first time this year. So this was the bare minimum size for female. And you can see she is crammed in here pretty much. I would say this is probably the maximum size of a snake that you'd really want to house in a tub this size. You wouldn't want a snake any bigger. And let me tell you, I have some bigger snakes that definitely wouldn't fit in these tubs. Alright, so let's talk about finances. And when you're first starting a breeding operation like this and you're setting everything up, buying the racks and the snakes and the rodents and everything, it is a lot of money. And my mistake is for the first 2 years, I didn't really make any money on anything, and I was waiting for the hatchlings. But let me tell you, there's ways you can make money. Here's a real easy way to make some quick money. So essentially what you're doing is you're putting your ball pythons in these tubs and you're waiting for them to grow up, and as you buy them and you wait for them to grow up, what you're doing is you're feeding them and maintaining them. And one of the biggest costs is the bedding, and what I use is a Pro Coco coconut husk bedding. And here's a real easy way to make some money. You can get this by the pallet, and what I do is I buy about 100 blocks at a time. It's like $1,000, so it's about $10 a block, $11 if you bring it in by like the half pallet or the pallet. what I was actually doing is I was refreshing it every month and I was just throwing this away. But let me tell you, you can actually sell this on Craigslist as landscaping material. And I was selling it for the same price I bought it, so I'd buy it for $10 a block, you know, fill all my tubs, and then after a month I'd dump it in garbage bags and kind of go through. I'd spot clean, I'd get all the sheds out and everything, get it fairly clean, and then I would sell it as landscaping material and recoup all of my money from all my snake bedding. So let's talk about the different ways you can make money with your rodents, and there's quite a few different ways. When I first started, I was producing just enough rodents to feed my snakes, and I wouldn't really produce any extra. As a matter of fact, I think you want to produce more than you use because you can make some pretty good money with them. So what I do is I pair them up, usually one male to like 3 or 4 females, and then they have babies. Some of the older ones I put in these smaller tubs because they don't have as many babies and they won't really overload the tubs. And then what I do is I sell them either live or frozen to the pet stores, or, you know, if you really want to make some money with your rodents, you could get into, like, you know, a pedigreed rat. Some of the real fancy rats, I've seen them sell for like $20 to $50 a rat, you know, some of these rat clubs and stuff like that. And then the mice, you could do like really fancy mice, maybe have some for feeders for your snakes, and then sell some of the fancier ones for pets. That's just an idea where you could do pretty good with your rats. So another thing I wish I would have done right from the beginning when I started breeding snakes, and that is I wish I would have started my YouTube channel and started cranking out videos right from the beginning. As a matter of fact, if you're starting a whole operation like this, there is a lot of content. Every time you get a snake, you can have an unboxing video. You can kind of plan out your breeding through these different videos. You can set up the different racks, kind of showcase how each one goes together, and there's a lot of content. But there's a few different ways to think about a YouTube channel. For me, what I'm trying to do is I'm going after the YouTube ad revenue. And let me tell you, you can make an incredible amount of money on YouTube ads, like millions of dollars a year. But let me tell you, it takes hundreds or thousands of videos over quite a few years, and it is a serious grind. Let me tell you, most of the people that are doing YouTube, they don't really look at that as their primary source of income or the direction they necessarily want to go. So here's another way you could kind of spin a YouTube channel. You know, a lot of these guys, I've been watching a lot of people on how to make a YouTube channel, how to be successful on YouTube. Another way is to do Amazon affiliate links. So for example, if you have like coconut block husk, you could sign up for an Amazon affiliate account, put a link under your description in like under one of your videos, and then when people click on it and go to buy that product, you actually get a percentage, like a commission. You're like a sales guy selling for Amazon, and you get a commission of everything. As a matter of fact, I do a little bit of that on the side, and I think this month I made like 40 bucks off of affiliate, but I'm not really, that's not really the focus of my channel. I'm not really pushing the review of products and trying to get people to click on the links. I put links underneath in the description, and once in a while people click on it just kind of out of a random chance, but that's not really my primary focus, but it could be. I've seen some people do channels essentially totally doing review of products, and that would be interesting on a reptile channel to kind of, you know, look at all these different products. As a matter of fact, if you got pretty big on YouTube and a lot of these, you know, the big companies selling these products really saw you pushing these products, they give you product for free and you review them, and a lot of times you can get like brand deals and stuff like that. So that is kind of a different way to go. And another good thing with YouTube is if you're not going after like the affiliate programs, you're not going after the ad revenue. The other thing is you really become known in the reptile industry. I've seen a lot of people do this, and essentially what you're doing is you're selling your snakes, and I don't know what the snake is doing. Speaking of snakes on my head, come on, Bobby. So you know, essentially what it does is it shows, you know, kind of you build a personal relationship with your buyers, and the buyers can see what you're up to, what's kind of, you know, what your snakes look like. You can actually do videos about every snake that you're selling and kind of showcase them. This happens to be Bobby, my bamboo ball python. He's a really cool, he's a male. He's actually fathered quite a few clutches. I think over the last 2 years, he's probably produced 80 or 90 babies. He's been really busy. Let me tell you, he's kind of the star of my whole collection as far as a breeder and a pet, I would say. So I would highly recommend doing YouTube. Some people just can't get in front of the camera. That's fine too. So, you know, there's a lot of different ways that you can make money, be successful. You don't necessarily have to be in front of the camera on YouTube. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.